Let's dive right into this fascinating explainer. Today, we're building a bridge between the highly technical architecture of the internet and ancient Vedantic philosophy. I absolutely love it when two seemingly totally different worlds collide like this. We are going to look at the exact framework that allows you to send an email or stream a video, and we're going to map it, literally layer by layer, onto the spiritual architecture of human consciousness. If you've ever wondered how the strict, rigid rules of computer networking could possibly relate to the cosmos and ancient spirituality, well, you are in exactly the right place.
We're going to start with the classic IT mnemonic used to remember the 7 OSI networking layers. Please do not throw these samosa plates away. Now, if you work in tech, you've probably heard some variation of this about 1,000 times. The P stands for physical, D for data link, N for network, T for transport, S for session, P for presentation, and A for application. It's just a fun, simple way to memorize the technical stack. But by the time we finish this explainer, you are going to see this exact same sequence in a completely divine light. But before we start connecting all the spiritual dots, we just need a quick baseline. The OSI model basically represents how data moves from physical hardware all the way up to a user application. Think of it like a giant ladder. Down at the very bottom, you just have raw electrical signals, hardware. But as you climb up layer by layer, those signals get grouped, routed, managed, encrypted, and finally presented as, say, a Word document or an email that a human being can actually read and use. Here is our roadmap for today. Tech meets ancient wisdom, gathering data, senses and mind, processing, intellect and desires, the illusion, ego and Maya, the source, Vishnu's dream, and finally, the universal architecture. All right, part 1, tech meets ancient wisdom. To do this, we're going to follow a single packet of data as it hits the physical hardware and travels all the way up the stack to the ultimate observer. It basically happens in 3 broad phases. First, we collect the raw data. Then, we process and route it, and finally, it reaches that highest application layer. Moving on to part 2, gathering data, looking at the senses and mind. So, layer 1 is the physical layer. In computer terms, this is pure binary, just ones and zeros. Think about how you bias a transistor, right? When you power on the base, a high voltage gives you a 1, a low voltage gives you a 0. That is the absolute most basic formation of data. And spiritually, this perfectly represents our 5 physical senses: sight, hearing, touch. Our senses are just constantly gathering raw high and low signals from the physical world around us, exactly like a transistor gathering raw binary data. Now, stepping up one level, the data link layer converts that raw binary into manageable chunks called frames. It uses MAC addresses to keep track of where they came from. Identically, our mind acts as a 6th sense. The mind's entire job is to collect all those raw